that's not how life is. You don't go to work and then come back and meet your housemate and then we're going to a drink up or we're going to a cook up.
Smile, even if you're breaking. Just smile because you're winning.
Everyone I've met has said, yeah, no, watch that, no, fam, I'm just gonna bust it 3-4 years yet. After that, man's gonna move into property. No. But they never do it.
A girl cannot leave her house unless she's got whether it's Mongolian, whether it's Brazilian, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, whatever alien that's on her hair.
For your glory, I will do anything.
I'm looking at him, I think he's a waste man. I think you are a legit waste man. Like, I don't understand. And the thing is, okay, cool. Man then will rate him, girl then will flock to him. But when I deep you, like when I understand you have no substance, there's no character because you're moving this, like you're a waste man. To me, you're a waste man.
Episode 5, guys. Boys at University is going to be amazing. I can't wait. Let's go.
Hey, I'm Onyeka. Welcome to this episode of Soundwords. This is episode 5, Boys at Uni. I'm really looking forward to it.
Hey guys, it's Victor here. Hope you guys are looking forward to the discussion. Boys in University, there's going to be a lot of insights, a lot of opinions and things that you've never heard before. So get your tea, get your coffee, sit back, relax. It's going to be a good show.
Hey, morning, it's your boy Gold K, and I'm here this morning to discuss many of the issues that us as young men struggle with when we're at uni. The topic is boys at uni, and I'm really excited to indulge in such a serious conversation. I think they're cool.
Welcome back to Soundwords, guys. We're episode 5 for this amazing show, Boys at Uni, Boys at University. I've got 3 amazing guys with me now, guys. Introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name's Victor. I study at the University of Warwick, studying politics and international relations, and I'm happy to be on the show.
Hi, I'm Onyeka. I study at the University of Derby. I study civil and infrastructure engineering. And yeah, I'm also happy to be on the show today.
And I'm Kay. I studied at Kingston University, currently a master's holder, and I work in finance.
Okay, guys, so, I'm going to just put it out there from the beginning. Is it possible to be a Christian guy at uni and still be cool? Is it possible?
Still be cool. First of all, let's try and define the word cool. In what notion are we talking about cool? Are we talking about cool in terms of what society deems cool, or are we talking about biblically what is cool?
What do you guys think? What should we be looking at, or what is cool?
I think we should be looking at cool as just cool across the board. What is cool? Like how I would deem something to be cool. So if you're doing what you're doing and you're comfortable doing what you're doing, that's cool. Rather than doing what society tells me to do because that's cool.
But surely there's a especially at university, there's a kind of a status that you've got to get to. There's got to be a tick box that you've got to have to be cool.
Yeah, but that's the status that the university society has put in place. That doesn't necessarily define what is cool.
Definitely. On that point, I think like in terms of university, you probably kind of seen it in going to university and graduating, and you've probably seen it in university. You meet people that before, when they were in secondary school, when they were sixth form, they were not like that. You go to university and you recreate yourself. You go and make yourself a new.
Why does that happen though?
I think so.
Go on, no, you can carry on.
No, I think it's a thing where from like, I would say from the moment you're born till like the point before you step into uni, you've always been like under your mom, under your dad, you know. You might have had those tendencies before, but obviously, especially I think coming from an African perspective, you can't really show those tendencies. But when you're at uni, you stepped way out of the purview of your parents. There are no aunties, no uncles, you know, you can go out there, reinvent yourself, do what you want to do. And so some people just go haywire because it's all that repressed excitement. So by the time it's university, they just bring it out in full blast. And you know,
we got some stories. So we went to the same uni around the same time, and we got some stories. And there were just so many people who came to uni. It's like stars in your eyes. I don't know if you guys remember that. You go in there, you come out somewhere. So, like some people came into university being a particular type of person. They came out as somebody else. What's the problem? Why does that happen?
I personally think that maybe there's some things that people have been through in their normal habitat that they feel like going away and starting again is a way that they can refresh themselves. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's an opportunity for them to go and rebrand, so to speak, because the ratings that they wanted, they didn't get when they were in ends, so to speak. So when I come out of the ends, nobody knows me there. So I can put on a particular character or persona and people will just take that. Obviously, first impression, that's how that person is. Until that person comes from ends, who knows you.
I will just
When you get
expose.
to you know what I'm saying?
Listen, bro, I said you shocked last week.
But saying that though, if you as a person, if that actually happens and you actually build up your character to the point where it doesn't matter who comes from ends, they're gonna see that you're doing your thing at uni. There's always gonna be that person that comes from ends who doesn't go to uni, who comes and chills with you because you know that you've got a particular status at uni.
So that kind of like adds to it. But on that note, I don't know, with me, I've never been able to run with that one. Because, of course, a lot of the time why people come from ends in terms of mobility, they want to go to university to get the degree and then move on and have a better life. But they're always attaching themselves to their ends, to this thing. And they want to, maybe because I wasn't bad in ends, let me try and be bad in the Midlands. There's like a lot of people in the Midlands that try and just recreate it. So I'm just thinking, are you crazy? Like, what's this? But then, and you have to think about it deeply. Like, you wrote a personal statement to this university saying why I am such a good candidate, and now you have gone to the university and you want to go and do styles. I don't understand that one.
But there's something that makes them do that though. Do you know what I mean? There's got to be something that makes you think, I've got to change. Is it just the fact that I was this person in ends and now I'm going to go to university and reboot?
It's like when I was growing up, so you know what I'm saying, when I was in school, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you have your friends come and visit you at home. And when your friends come and visit you at home, you're a bit more excited than normal. My parents used to clamp me down and say, hey, stop showing off.
It's true.
So I guess it's because of the fact that you are not living a realistic lifestyle at uni that you show off and you have to keep showing off because there's that facade that you have already started that you have to follow through with. If I'm at uni and I should say I go to uni, go to my lectures and whatever, and then I come back home, I've got housemates in my house where I can banter with and all of that kind of stuff or whatever, maybe drink with, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But that's not how life is. You don't go to work and then come back and meet your housemate and then we're going to a drink up or we're going to a cook up. All of this is going to keep the excitement up for the whole time that you're at uni because there's stuff to do. But the reality is, you're like, for example, you go to your lecturer is there to work. He's not going home and thinking, I'm going to Leicester traffic light rave, you know what I'm saying, in the evening and then coming back to teach you in the morning. No, he's there to teach you. But you can choose because you haven't got a manager to answer to who's paying you.
I think also it goes back to like being cool. The notion of being cool is different at different universities. So for example, I'm at Warwick now. Being okay, cool, there is some element of people going to party, but what makes you cool in Warwick is how many internships you're doing, or if you've got a first in this essay in some aspect. It's not necessarily the holistic aspect, but then I can understand if you go to other universities, that has nothing like internship. What's internship? It's cool being like you might bang this rave. What did you shock you? Did you get how many numbers did you get after the rave kind of thing? And then it goes back to that. And I feel like that's it's a cycle that we kind of young people, young men especially, get into, and it's problematic because more time when you graduate from university, no one's gonna ask you how many raves or how many numbers you got on raves.
The funny thing is that we know people that went to university, came out of university with a different life, for the negative. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And like and the same people that were pushing you to do the negative. Now that they've got their graduate jobs, now they're settled down, they've got married, they've got kids now, and they look like you're like, oh wow, you're still there.
My mum tells me the story, from young, like secondary school. She always tells me the story of a boy called Atata. It's like a notion and Igbo like thing. And she says that this boy is the one that will be in the classroom, just there making jokes with everyone. But at night, he's there in his room reading his book, making sure. But then he'll go to the classroom and he'll have fun with everyone, and then people will disturb everyone, but he'll still get his grades, and then everyone will be shocked because he's been working. And I feel like sometimes as young men we fall into that trap because more time, especially like if we're talking about opposite sex, women can multitask. Men, we're not blessed with that gift. I don't think so. We're not blessed with that gift. So if you're on the phone, you don't agree. If you're on the phone to your babes now, she's there talking to you and revising. Me, I cannot do that. I have to focus on one. So that means at that time I'm not working.
Can I? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. No, honestly. So I agree with you, but girls are just as bad.
Do you think?
Right now, what girls are being distracted with is crazy. Like for us, our distraction is very, very materialistic. But that's understandable because of the way that we're built. We're very optical people. Everything's based on sight. Everything's what we see. Everything is physical. Okay. A female, the way that they're built, they're very, they're the Bible says like, what I'm saying, that the role of Eve is to nurture and to care. We're to provide and protect. Ours is very, very physical. Eve is to nurture and to care. Very, very emotional, very, very nurturing. But right now, they're very, very focused on the materialistic things. A girl cannot leave her house unless she's got whether it's Mongolian, whether it's Brazilian, whether it's, what I'm saying, whatever alien that's on her hair, what I'm saying, and she wants to be decorating her face with tons of makeup. Like the girl that woke up in the morning is not the same girl that you see at night. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's very, very materialistic. They cannot leave their house without things. So everything's about. So I think it's about perception.
So they're also struggling with the multitasking girls as well.
Right now they're struggling with the multitask because their priorities are in the wrong place.
I still think they'll do it better. They do it better than guys. They do it better than guys because the thing is, if you deep like, okay, cool. If you deep how many people get like these graduate jobs or get good grades in terms of gender, girls are doing it way better. Especially if you cut it and then you just say go directly into the black community, you'll see that girls are doing better. Yes or no?
Oh wow.
Yeah, but
do you know what? The facts
don't
lie.
Girls actually do
better. Girls do better, and more time. And the kind of running on that point, it's kind of like the things that distract guys. We get distracted by like what I'm gonna say. We get distracted by stupid things. We get distracted like short-term money. Okay, cool. Like you want to bust forward, but more time you're in the university. You're gonna pay £27,000. You're gonna potentially, if you go to university, like the statistic is, if you go to university, on average throughout your life, you're gonna earn £168,000 more than someone that didn't go to university. So if you think with that and you just adopt a mentality of delayed gratification, you can understand that you can make potentially a lot of more money than you're risking and jeopardizing your future with doing short-term moves. So,
but certain man, I hear what you're saying right now. I can see some young 20, 19, 21-year-old boys at particular unis and will say, but what you're saying, I'm on my grind, man. What are you talking about? All this 168,000. That's what they'll say.
But you have to deep the game. Is that your grind? Is that the grind that society gives to you? Because more time, as a young man, 19, 20, and especially as a young black man that you're given, more time, that's not your grind. More time, that's the grind that your social, economic circumstances have given to you. And because you think, okay, cool, yeah, no, let me make these moves now, let me bust this AC, and then you get peace from it, and you're thinking, no, actually, this is my grind. It's not your grind. Because long ago, and the way that the society works out, the way that the government worked out, because of the situation you're in, you have to adopt that lifestyle. That's not your grind. If you deep the game, that's not your grind.
See, I agree with that, and to add to that, I won't even say society calls you to get into that position in the first place. If this was America, cool. I get it. If it was America, cool. I get it. But in the UK, where if you're not working, you could potentially earn more money than someone who is working after tax. So, like for example, job seekers allowance. If you're on the top band of job seekers allowance, you are I don't know what it is
But
right now. I think
a
it's
certain amount
but-
of children and
yeah, but then even with that job seekers allowance, they'll cover your housing and all of that kind of stuff. So job seekers allowance is really money that's in your pocket. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas the man who's because those things are in place in the system in the UK, you opening your mouth to say that you are doing these moves and all of that kind of stuff, all you're basically saying is that you're lazy. In hindsight, you don't want to work.
and you don't have vision. You don't have vision
Yeah.
for your life because
Every man that's doing fraud lacks vision for his life.
lacks vision, bro. Lacks vision. I will shout that right
I
now.
don't necessarily agree with
Yeah, I
what
don't
you're
agree with
saying.
that though.
Because
Hold on, let's get this clear. Everyone that doing fraud lacks vision for their life. Right?
do you know what fraud is? Fraud is 8 to 10 years, yeah.
I know what you're
and more
saying.
time when you go fraud, yeah. Look, with the society we live in, you will get more years for fraud than you do for rape. So what does that mean? What does this country mean? Focused on money.
I get what you're saying, but then at the end of the day, if you look at it like this, you don't have, when you do things like that, you don't have the mentality of, I'm going to get caught. That's not your mentality. If you knew you were going to get caught, you wouldn't necessarily do it. So when people do these things, there are some people here that will do these things and then they'll do it for a while, build a life from it or build a certain amount of money from it and then
Start making investments.
yeah, start making legit business.
Look, everyone says that's theory. Everyone I've met has said, yeah, no, I watched that, no, fam, I'm just gonna bust it 3-4 years, yeah. After that, man's gonna move it to property. No. But they never do it. They never do
You know
it.
this? I think a lot of men of the Lord. Yeah, I'm gonna take it back to here for a second. A lot of men of God will come to me and say to me, "Bro, every single thing that I made, every single thing that I've got that came from fraud money, God has taken it away. God has just stripped it down. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how much everybody can say that's their experience, but a lot of the boys around me have said, bro, that car, remember I had that car, God took that away. That God took that away.
And the way
See, no, and I agree with that. But then we've then got to look at what. So we've then got to look at the angle of which this is coming from. If we're saying cool, we're reinvesting it and then talking about God will always humble a man there.
Yeah.
But if you are that person, because I've seen a lot of people that are, especially Christians get discouraged at what it is that their friends are doing, knowing that their friends are doing loads of messed up stuff,
yeah,
all of that kind of stuff, and they're making more money, they're prospering more, they're actually able to make these investments where they're, getting into property and all that kind of stuff. And you're looking at them thinking, but wait, I've been praying day and night for something like this and nothing is coming through. So I guess on that point, you're right, but then it's also what angle. If we're looking at it from a Christian angle, yeah, God will always humble you. But if you're looking at it from the world angle, then
it can work for certain man. With this, all these guys that we've looked at university that I've said are the cool guys that we've got in our minds. I'm sure if everybody looks back at their university life or your current university life, you say to yourself, when you talk about the cool guys, you're talking about the guys that are doing their thing, the guys that are at the forefront, the guys that the rave is not banging unless they're there, those sort of people. How many of them are Christians, and is it possible to do the both?
I think so.
To be fair, yeah, because I'm imagining the prototype of the guy that we're making, the guy that does the little fraud thing, that's like has his way with the girls, that maybe has a little bit of banter, is good at sport. But okay, sport, taking away aside sport. Other than that, I'm looking at him, I think he's a waste man. I think you are a legit waste man. Like, I don't understand. And the thing is, okay, cool, man then will rate him, girl then will flock to him. But when I deep you, like when I understand you have no substance, there's no character because you're moving this, like you're a waste man. To me, you're a waste man. And the man that I respect are the people that are able to hold their own in any environment. Like if you're able to hold yourself in this environment and you know that this is yourself, if you're principled, me as a young man, what I'm looking for principles. I'm looking for someone that is principled in what they do. You don't even have to be Christian to be principled. You just have to say, look, even like, let's say for university, I wake up early. Or I apply myself, or I'm in the library from this time to this time, and I do this to this, time management, those kind of skills. That's what I'm looking for. And if I see that in someone, I'll be like, nah, you're on job. I like you. It's all, it goes for the principles with you.
Alright, so let me just play devil's advocate right now, yeah. So somebody who's on their grind, because me and Frank can literally we can name a couple people who did their thing. but also did their thing.
Okay.
As in, like, they did their thing, they were on their grind, but they still left with a university degree and a good degree at that.
Okay.
And when they were done, they have actually dropped that lifestyle out and is now. So even when he made his point that at the time you suited them when you guys were doing the same thing, but not knowing that he was still working behind the scenes and making sure that he got his degree down. When he got his degree, he dropped it out, got his job, got his girl settled down, and he's come back to see that you're still on the same thing. Like, right, you're still here. Do you see what I'm saying? I think it's down to the mentality of the person and what you actually went to uni for.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Because there's some people that when they go to uni, they're not even thinking about the course.
Yeah, they're thinking about the rave.
They're not thinking about the course. So, like, they're thinking about student loan, forgetting that you have to pay that back. They're thinking about student loan. So as soon as that first drop comes in, that September, the first installment.
1st September.
In our day, it was the Bental Centre in Kingston. What? And those times, what jeans was that? True Religion. Those were the jeans. If you had True Religions, you were on stuff. You know what I'm saying? They see that, or Evisu even.
And G-Star.
No. Look how far we got back.
And G-Star.
And G-Star.
What do you know?
You know what I'm saying? And everything was about perception. My house was not far from uni. Even when I went to uni, parking was long. But I still had to drive to uni.
Had to. You have to drive to uni. They must know you drive. They must know that you drive, and you must drive slow enough that they know, and you must drive at the time when they come in. You don't come at halfway through the lecture. You come when they're coming out of the lecture, so that they can see that you have arrived.
And the thing is, where you even park outside with Pennon Road, when you get out there's nowhere to park.
There's nowhere to park.
But you have to do this. You have to because it's all about perception. It's all about images.
But I'm getting from the conversation, guys. You're telling me that it's impossible to be a Christian at university.
It's not impossible. I think
For what you're telling me that it's difficult to be a university Christian. Being a Christian as a guy at uni today in society or within the last 10 years is impossible.
I think it's impossible. I went away for a year to Cyprus, and there, like, you don't know anyone. It's a way to reinvent yourself. So I had to now sit down and think, okay, where do I want to be? Where do I see myself going? Am I just gonna carry on? Because this is a different country. It's not like it's a uni that's, let's say, in another city. It's a completely different country. So no matter what I do there, my mom's not gonna find out. I have no relatives there or anything. So I had to sit down and know for myself what I wanted. And I think it's really important going in to know what you want, because at the end of the day, if you have what you want at the back of your mind, no matter how far you stray, you're always going to come back to that point because this was your set goal at the start.
But brother, I feel you on that. But my brother here, we can both tell you people that had the right idea, they know what they wanted to be. I know guys that were believers that went to university and came out something else. So what is that? What's the transition?
Okay,
what is it?
Me personally, and I've got a cousin who went to uni, very, very Christian. Well, I won't say his name. You know him, but I won't say his name because I'm saying for reasons. He done his thing at uni, and then something hit him, like that reality check. You can't do both at the same time.
Yeah,
so it's not impossible to be a Christian at uni, but you've just got to choose what lane you're going in. Because if you're gonna go that lane, you can't do both.
But you can but the thing is, on that, you can reinvent cool. You can reinvent what it means to be cool. So for example, and listen, you can reinvent. For example, if the cool notion is the don that does the fraud, the don that has the P's, the don that does this, the don that does that, you can reinvent it. You can work hard. You can be in library. You can be actually studious. You can make sure that you're on that point. You can apply for a graduate job. You can be successful. You can run something, and people will look at that and be like, "Yo, like this brother's on stuff. This brother's on stuff." Because more time, like as we're growing up and we're in university, okay, cool. People need to realize that after university, you're going to work. Life begins.
But my uncle was saying yesterday, as I said earlier,
you cannot do
You're not going to a rave every day after uni.
You will not.
You don't
And
do
you are-
midweek
And the thing
Wednesday
is,
nights.
what
and
do you
come
do?
to
The
bed
thing
for
is,
Thursday
especially
morning.
as a man, if you see a 27-year-old, 26-year-old in a rave, what are you thinking? You're thinking, bro, like you're a big man, you know, like what on? Like,
But I think the
then again-
problem is they say we're at uni. I'm cool. I'm not a big man yet. I'm at uni. I want to do my thing.
Yeah.
That's the mentality. That's what I'm saying. That I'm bringing the question back to you, man. Is it possible to be a Christian?
But then-
Because from what Shad's saying here, yeah, is that it's okay. From what he's saying here, is that actually you can't do. I'm cool. Okay, we were believers before we were both believers. Yeah, I was pretty bait at university. He was a DJ all across unis at the time. Yeah, so he was baiter than me. Yeah, let's say he was a tad baiter than me. Yeah.
and that's what constituted cool, being bait.
To some extent, but we were both believers before we got in there. But we went to church on Sundays. We went to church on Sundays at times, but we weren't believers.
See, this is.
So was it that we weren't believers before we got in there, or is it that there's something in uni that just strips down believers?
This is
And
something.
what do we do about
this
it?
is something I've discovered. Yeah, before I went to Cyprus, I was Christian because when you're African, whatever religion in quote your parents are, except you're old enough to make a decision for yourself, that's your kind of religion. So as a church, we had focused more on that. Christian is just go to church, do this, do that, but Christianity is not a religion, it's a relationship. When you do not have that relationship, it is easier for you to fall. It is easier for you to be swayed any which way. If I know you and I know okay, these are your principles, these are your values. If someone else comes to me and says, oh, I saw Frank doing something, I'll think, with the way I know Frank, with my relationship with him, I don't think it's him you saw. Or maybe, I don't think he did that thing. So it's about relationship. And when you get to that point where you have a personal relationship with God, it is hard. It's way harder for you to be swayed any which way. And this is from personal experience because before I was just Christian in quotes.
My
But
title, yeah.
yeah, I didn't have.
Maybe I'll talk for myself. I was probably that. You're right.
Yeah,
Just a
just
Christian.
Christian.
Not a true believer.
I talk for me as well because I was definitely in works every Monday.
But the thing is, like, on that point, on the term of going to university and being Christian, and of course you hear people that say that they went in strong believers and then they
came
fell
out.
off. But then you have to remember that it's a walk, and and the thing is, as a walk here, when we come before God, our whole life is going to be reviewed by God, not just that certain aspect.
That's
And the thing about it, like I was in church, I was had a night with you yesterday, and the pastor said something so interesting. He said that probably him and I forgot his name, Enoch. Those two men were the men that were told by God that they walked with God, and the guy who was King David. King David, he said, a man after God's own heart. But if you deep some of the madness that King David did, you'll realize like.
But does that justify it, though?
It doesn't justify it, but there will be times, and it's a walk. There will be times where you fall down. The Bible says that a righteous man falls down 7 but stands up 8, and you are what you feed. If you decide to feed your flesh, you'll get that. If you decide to feed your spirit, you'll get.
And this is another thing as well. This is why, like, it's okay to love the characters like David, Moses, and so it's okay to love them, but Jesus Christ really and truly is your role model.
Yeah.
That is the standard.
That's the role model standard.
The Bible describes it as is it a walk unto perfection or a battle to perfection or something like that. But the idea is that we're not perfect, but the goal is to be perfect. And Christ was the only one that is and was perfect. David, a man after God's own heart, David took a man's wife, killed a man.
Yeah.
How many atrocities did David commit? Moses as well at some point fell. Everyone fell at some point. But Jesus was the only one that stayed true. Even Peter, that was the rock on which I'll build my church, he denied Jesus 3 times. So you have to wonder that even though it's good, there are definitely lessons you need to learn from these guys. Like David, his love for Christ, his passion for God. These things are things we need to admire. These things are things we need to hope for. But at the end of the day, Christ is the complete thing. He is our role model. He's who we should aspire to be. And there's this saying, you can chase everything and miss God, but you cannot chase God and miss anything. So it's that fact that we need to constantly daily strive to be like Christ. Christianity, Christ-like, Christ-minded,
Even in
Christ-focused.
university?
Even in university, even if it doesn't matter. Listen. Before I went
I'm
to
40, I
university,
was checking it out.
before I went to university, I had an internship in New York, and I was gonna go to New York, and you know the story of New York, the Big Apple, the thing like this. So this was the first time I was going away from home for an extended period of time. So a lot of people came, and out of the goodness of their heart, they came to me and said, "Victor, are you sure about this internship? You're relatively young. Are you sure you should go to New York?" It's like there's no one kind of there. But then the thing is, I knew my vision for my life, and I knew that this fitted in with my vision. And God won't send you somewhere where He won't provide for you. Like He won't make sure. But then at that aspect, I could have went to New York and I could have done madness. I could have done this. But the thing is, what do you hold for yourself? First of all, the thing I'm trying to do, I'm trying to please God, and I cannot be ashamed to my mom. My mom has worked too hard and I've done too many things for me to come and then do styles in another country. Does that make sense? And then in university, come and do styles. Me that has 4 younger sisters, you want me to go and just be wordless with every single woman? Does that make sense?
You're coming on to that, man.
Does that make sense? But that's me personally. So when people are like, "Oh, Vic's like, oh, I don't understand, like, oh, how can you do this like thing?" First of all, when you have 4 younger sisters, you realize that women don't play with women because they will remember things. So if I go and do Baby Boy as the oldest brother, as the oldest brother, they're looking at me and they're thinking, "Okay, cool, like
This is the way to
and
be."
subconsciously, that's the kind of man that they'll
looking
think,
for.
and then they'll allow that. They'll allow that standard. Why? Because I've set that standard. Personally, I hold myself not to hold that standard for my younger sisters, because with that, they can enter problematic relationships, and that's a generation. That's a whole generation. And then imagine the children. So it's deeper than you. When you realize it,
Man at uni, I'm not cutting you off. I'm just adding on to that. Man at uni now, and I'm not even looking at people exclusively. Me at uni, I didn't think that deep. I didn't think to myself that this is going to have generational killing. I was just thinking to myself, I'm going to be. I'm thinking to myself, I want every different kind of color, every different kind of race. I want to just make sure we have a nice assorted meat kind of. That doesn't mean. And only after when I got into the Lord and I realized that these are God's daughters. Don't ramp. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so I'm gonna come from a very general, what do you call it? So we go back to this term, this word cool. Yeah. So cool is like, just as I'm hearing everybody speak, I think for me, cool is a very circumstantial term.
And it's subjective as well.
It's very circumstantial. So if I needed to go raving and I needed to look good and I needed to be with the right people who was going to bring the vibe.
No, but that's an amazing point. We're going to come back to that. Guys, we're going to go on a music break now, but we're going to come back and talk about some more amazing things about boys at uni. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, I'm Shiv. The song I'm going to be singing today is called Smile by James Fortune. This is my guitarist, Ahiman, and I hope you guys enjoy it. What do you have to lose? Why is it so hard to choose? Circumstances weigh you down. Happiness is nowhere to be found. Smile, even if you're breaking. Smile, even if it's faking. Oh, just smile. Smile, even if you're breaking. Just smile because you're winning. No, all you have to do is just on a quest, searching for happiness. Yeah, trying to find your peace of mind. Can't find it on no map or GPS. No, no. Your heart will lead you to a happy life. faking. Oh, smile. All you have to do is just